David R. here. Today I'm going to talk to you about this book, Reflections on Life After Life, the further investigation of a phenomenon, survival of bodily death, by Raymond A. Moody, Jr. This book is the continuation of this book here, Life After Life. Very good book as well. There are a lot of things in this book here that I could talk about, but I only want to focus on the near-death experience aspects of the book. Anyway, let's get started. New elements. The vision of knowledge. Several people said that they had brief glimpses of an entire separate place of consciousness in which all knowledge, past, present, and future, coexisted in a timeless state because the place itself was knowledge. Cities of light. One man described this city. He said, "Suddenly I found myself in another place. There was a gold-looking light everywhere. Beautiful." He also said that there was music, streams, mountains, trees. One woman said, "Far away in the distance, you could see a city. The people there were happy." But she was told that if she went into that city, she could not turn back. In other words, she couldn't go back to earth. A realm of bewildered spirits. Several people reported seeing other beings. They weren't conscious of anything, not spiritual or physical, and they always looked down. They were depressed. They were like ghosts. They were trying to communicate with people on earth to try to tell them to lead a different life, to not lead the life they themselves had led. Supernatural rescues. There are people who were trapped in a cave, let's say, or in other situations where they were rescued by supernatural force. One in particular was a guy named Peter Marshall. The book is called A Man Called Peter by Catherine Marshall. And she wrote about Peter's experience. Apparently, he was falling off a cliff, and he was saved by a voice in the fog. Other examples include a man who was led out of danger by an unseen hand, or invisible hand, as he said. A woman with a bad infection was told to breathe if she wanted to live. Judgment. Life review. People would go into a place where they would see a 3D version of their life, especially the most important events of their life. And they were accompanied by a being of light. Christians would say this was Jesus, and others would just not know. They would just think that it was just a being of light. After a while, this being of light would ask, "What have you done with your life?" And people judged themselves. The being of light didn't judge them. In fact, this being was very loving. Suicide, prohibited. One man said, "While I was over there, I got the impression that there are two things I couldn't do, two things that were prohibited. One was taking my own life, and one was taking the life of another. Because if you took your own life, you were throwing God's gift back into his face. If you took the life of another one, you were interrupting their mission." One person who attempted suicide mentioned being trapped in the situation that led to the suicide itself. It just kept going over and over, as if it were in a loop. Throughout the ages, philosophers and theologians have argued against suicide from the premise that we are here on assignment. We don't own our bodies. God owns them. In conclusion, I highly recommend this book, but I suggest reading this one first, Life After Life. In fact, if I were to make a choice between these two, I would say just read this one. But this one, like I said, is a continuation, and so you'll still get something out of it. Well, anyway, that's all I got. Talk to you later. Bye.